Hi viewers, welcome to a year of the 3 C's. To connect, collect and consolidate. My name is Aisha Uwa Edeko and you were watching The Breakfast Show on CSL Nigeria TV. You're welcome. The last week of December 2020, eyes on social media had their brows heavily raised due to a flyer invite released for a sex party scheduled to hold in Kaduna on the 27th of December 2020. Swinging into action, Governor of Kaduna State, Nigerian El-Rufai, ordered for the demolition of the supposed venue, which is Asha Kings and Queens Restaurant. Speaking against the government, CEO of Asha Kings and Queens Restaurant, Mercy Aisha Yakubu, said nothing of such was to take place. Hatta restaurants and residents in the area also attested in the affirmative. Now trending is that the government did not properly investigate before taking actions, which leads us to discussing the Nigerian government and abuse of power. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Welcome on the Breakfast Show and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Now, shedding more light on this story, we went through the tweets and I saw that, funny enough, this place was not a hotel the way they put it out the first time, because I saw the flyer and I was like, Kaduna, waiting to wrap up the year. And reading through the story, even residents in the area said nothing of such was to happen. So apparently the lady was in a place of work, that was December 27th. They saw unusual movement, police came around, arrested her, and told her things like that. Was, a sex party was to take place there. She was completely not aware of what was going to happen. Fast forward, she was arrested, bailed, and next up was that when she came out, she told them, let her even see this flyer. And she told the Nigerian police force that she's surprised they didn't even call the number on the flyer, which they did, and they traced the guy. She paid 20,000. She paid 20,000 for that, very correct. Yes. They traced him, they brought him out and said, oh, that it was just a prank and things like that. That passed. Only to happen that the next day, at her other branch, she got a call from a friend and said, go to your branch where the supposed sex party was supposed to take place. And it was under locks. The police, vigilante, and even soldiers were there. And they brought down the building with everything valuable still inside. What do we make of this?
My question is, on what ground? What rights do they have? Because even on the flyer, there was no venue. They didn't put, it was not there that they want to have the sex party there. So where did they get the information from? So it baffles me that they would just take laws into their hands, even if they want to do it. Under the penance law of section 166 is just a criminal offense of 1 year, the 1 year imprisonment and 10,000 naira bail. That's just all they have to do. They don't have any right whatsoever to put down the building. So I was wondering
what even baffles me is that you arrested this person. She bailed herself with 100,000, and the customer who was there also bailed himself another 100,000. I
was supposed to have his reunion.
And paid 20,000 for the police to do their work.
Investigation.
And you still brought down her building, and due to this, she lost her 1-month-old pregnancy
because of the shock.
Joyce is still in shock.
It's interesting. While I followed the story, it was really interesting to look at, because there is an excessive display of misplaced priorities in this country consistently. Yeah. And when the restaurant was demolished, the federal government, through the Commissioner for, I think, Arts and Culture, supported it and recommended that if they hadn't done that Kaduna State would have been the location for sex tourism in Nigeria. First of all, nobody would go to Kaduna for sex tourism. Let's just start there.
Why? And of all places.
It was really interesting to me because even during the NSAS protest, more people that helped for legal counsel, food, their passports were blocked. They couldn't travel. Yes. Their account numbers were blocked. And it was really interesting to me to watch this, because not long after that, we were told to go and queue up during a pandemic to get our NIN numbers. Yes. So what you're telling me is that our government has the resources to track down random people on social media and block their passports and block their account numbers.
But you can't get through to Boko Haram.
But they can't find Boko Haram.
No, you can't.
So the Kaduna State Police have all the intel to manufacture the location for this sex party. But they can't find the SARS officers that we've been looking for.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
I will not even give
So-
them any credit for any intel because they did not even do any investigation.
It's fantastic to me because if we're basing our conversation on what they've told us, they've told us is that they use some sort of intellectual
Yes.
information.
And do you know now that a news just came out as of yesterday saying that
They have a
did
permit.
not, they did not even bring down the building because of the sex party. That it was because it was an illegal structure.
Now,
They're trying to find a way to cover up.
Oh my God.
This will not be the first time a governor is bringing down the property because
No,
they
no, no,
don't
no,
like
no.
it.
Yeah.
We
Maybe
came
over the
up
weekend.
one day and said because of COVID-19, he was bringing down an entire hotel.
Yeah, what about Fresh FM?
know what?
Fresh FM was brought because the governor was
In
disrespected.
2018.
And you know, the crazy thing about this whole Asha restaurant is the event did not even take place.
It didn't.
Now, if the event took place, it was slated for 27th of December.
Yeah.
If the event took place and the necessary authorities went there and disrupted the event,
Yes.
and discovered that there were a lot of people, there was no social distancing,
Yes.
and say,
Okay.
there's
Fine.
a reason for this thing. Now, this said event did not happen. So first off, they said the building was demolished because they were going to flout COVID-19. They were
Ow.
going to.
They were going to.
And you took their building down. They also said that kind of event is an immoral event and it should not be taking place
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Because we have
That
culture.
is why they took down the building. Are you guys for real?
There's one
I don't
more
understand.
Now, the permit own is a recent development. They started on the grounds of COVID-19
19,
and
yes.
sex
Sex
party
party.
itself. So they've seen that there's no basis.
And people are already reacting. People are reacting.
Yes.
So they now came up with this whole no permit thing. Now, before a building is taken down, that is if the building is
Notice.
taken down,
Yes.
there is a notice. After that notice, your building is marked.
Yes.
And that mark is going to stay for a period before they take it down. It's not something that is
And you
done
can
immediately.
bribe that mark away.
Yes.
Yes, you can paint it. You can actually
bribe the
paint
mark
it.
away.
You can paint it.
There are some buildings that have
Yes.
been marked and are
And
still
yet
standing.
that-
yes.
Yes. So all of those things were not considered.
But
So I think that, like I said, there is no smoke without fire. There's more.
Exactly,
There's
exactly
more.
what I
Speaking
was
of
saying.
there's been
Yes.
some whispers on social media
Yeah.
that the owner of the restaurant is the wife of a prominent party chieftain
Okay.
in the state.
Okay.
And, but we cannot ascertain if this is
Yeah.
true because there's been no report to publicly show this. But it's interesting because how much longer are we going to watch a consistent abuse of power without any respite?
I think it's
Yeah.
totally unfair what the Kaduna State government did. This is someone who has raised up a business for herself, prominence in the area. She has air conditioners. She has, in fact, the whole
Utensils, everything,
kitchen.
like,
you know,
it was
chairs.
worth 30 million.
Chairs. Looking about everything.
It's
I mean, like, it's a
yes.
sort of livelihood. This shock got to her to the point that she lost her pregnancy. I mean, it's really unfair. It's really uncalled for. Like Faith said, if you know rather that you wanted to actually get them done for the sex party, why not wait till the day of the
Yes.
of the supposed sex party, which did not even take place to begin with? Secondly, even the residents in the area said there was nothing of such that was going to happen. So my
And how
point
are they
is,
even going to have a
so
sex
party in a
in
restaurant?
a restaurant.
Yes.
So my point is, what if Mercy Aisha Yakubu, who is the CEO of Asha and Kings,
Yes.
Asha Kings and Queens Restaurant, did not even, say she was disappointed at the actions of the
Yes.
Nigerian police force, that they could not even track down the number on the supposed flyer. So she
Yeah.
actually paid. It's okay, take 20,000, call this person, and they called. They got the person, Marvelous Akpan is his name according to
Yeah.
the reports, and he said it was just a prank. So that was cleared already. Why then did you have to go for that to bring down the building?
I think our government generally hates taking responsibility. They know they've messed up. And now they're looking for a way to still, pin it on the lady and say, okay, look, it's not COVID this time. It's not the sex party this time. This building is an illegal structure.
Imagine.
One question
They
that
don't
I
want
need
to
to ask.
compensate this woman for her losses.
No.
First of all,
Who will fight the government?
one question that I need to ask, and I need you guys to come through and maybe help me understand. What is Nigeria's obsession with false morality?
I can't help you understand that.
Because, we wake up every other day, the government is doing one new injustice, the people are doing one new injustice. When the NIN thing started, in a particular NIN office, in local government office in Lagos, first of all, if you get there, you have to take a number. If you had up to 5K, your number can go up. If you have 10K, your number can go up.
People who paid 3,000 naira
Okay. And NIMC is supposed to be a free service, right? So all of that is happening. Every other day we wake up, we hear that this politician moved. I saw somebody that moved 60-something billion in one day.
Okay.
60-something million. Was taking 10 million like 10 times in one day, and then he withdrew all that money. We were there when doing the NDDC probe, and that man fainted. I never see people say things like, this is why this country is dying, this is why this country cannot stand. But somehow it's Bobrisky. Or a sex party. Or women wearing short skirts.
Or women joining men in taxis.
So like you said,
what is our obsession
it's just
with
misplaced
form
priority.
morality?
It's just misplaced priority for the Nigerian government. You know, they I think they like putting attention on such things to try to divert, you know, people's attention from the actual problems on ground. It's just misplaced priority for me.
Because I feel like if Nigerians can deliver themselves from the shackles of false morality, there's so much more things that we can focus on.
There's so much on ground to actually deal on in Nigeria than being concerned about Bobrisky's advice.
In as much as I do not, by any chance, I'm not a fan of the Nigerian government. Like I saw a video of Wole Soyinka saying he doesn't want to.
It affects him mentally.
Because he's guarding his mental health.
Which is very disappointing, but let's just move on. Because during the Goodluck administration, he was very loud. His mental health was in check.
My mother was loud as well. But you know, until you take a pill, you will not know how bitter it is. So I'm happy that he has tested the medicine and he knows it's not good. Some people are still there drowning, but I say say baba. But that's not the issue. Now I think it's not just about the government; it's about the people. A lot of people. Let's talk about COVID-19 now. The second wave and the new strain, the new variant. People are coming into Nigeria positive, but are buying negative test results.
Because the negative test result is cheaper. Did you know that?
You come into Nigeria, you land the airport, and the airport staff are telling you pay 45,000 naira for your COVID test. And you're like, okay, where am I going to get this test done? And they tell you, the 45K is for the government. You have to go and find a medical center to get the test done. Now, these people who are doing these things, the government did not send them on a good day. Nobody sends them. It's their own personal hustle. They are doing their own thing. Now, you also see people who are looking for jobs in offices, and you go there, maybe you're looking for a government job, or maybe a big parastatal, they are openings, and you see people telling you pay XYZ amount, and I'll secure a slot for you. Government did not send them to do those things.
But those people are government parastatals.
Yes,
so it's still government.
It's still government, yes, but it still has to do with the individual.
How we treat each
Because at the
other.
end of the day, if you find one person, my mother is this person that will not take bribe. She works with NIMC at some point, the NIM guys. And her colleagues used to sell the form. You know the form where you fill and attach your passport. Then it was not the whole digital thing. Her colleagues used to sell it for 1,000 naira. And she would even use her money to do the photocopy. So at the end of every registration, people come back wadded. Changing the interior of their house. And she's like, how did you guys? And they're like, madam, you know that you say you are a good person, integrity. And it's that integrity that is going to kill you. And I'm like, okay, she now would be the bad person. If they say they want to do one mago or the other, and she doesn't want to get involved, they'll say, this woman, she be bad head. Meanwhile, in the real sense, she's the good head. So I think we have to check ourselves first.
I feel like I've told maybe you or maybe Uzezi that the average Nigerian is just looking for a place to oppress the next person. The oppressed is complaining because they are not the oppressor. Because if they were in the position to be the oppressor, they are going to be the oppressor. And that is the average Nigerian.
And these things just start from offices, you know.
Offices, from boarding house.
From even schools. We talk about, speaking of boarding house, oppressing younger ones, let's even go there. Let's even open that chapter.
Like this recent happening.
Somebody in SS3 bullying somebody in JS1.
At the core, I believe that we learn the culture of oppression from our parents.
You said so. And you don't like what your mom did to you,
oppression. Yes, we learned the culture of oppression from our parents. From when you are told to shut up, you can't talk, you are too small, even though you have something to say.
So why you talk? Shut up.
Even when you're being sexually molested, you're too afraid to speak up to
So should I say it's our culture?
They're going to be beaten.
We grew up in an oppression culture.
Yes.
Even your parents will tell you that even the fact that you are seeing them to even talk to them, it's a privilege because they could not speak to their own parents. That their own parents were like
But thank God
gods.
this generation is coming out of it gradually.
They give you
hope
food
so,
and they tell you
yes.
you're so lucky. I had to go to the farm. I can't count how many times my mom would sit down. I'll start sitting down and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm lucky. I'm really privileged.
Do you understand? So there's so much wrong with the psyche. So many Nigerians need therapy.
Yes.
You see a video of maybe a father assaulting their child. You hear somebody say, me where they beat. They tie me for fan. They turn the fan. And they turn the fan. They knock me. I think they're okay. Now you need therapy, bro.
Yes.
You're not okay. So the culture of oppression is so ingrained in the Nigerian system. That's why a pastor would assault a person and you hear, touch not the anointed. Don't talk about it. It's just... It's too deep in our DNA, and I don't know how we're going to come out of it. I don't know if we're going to come out of it. I don't know if I see a future, because there's people that defended the Kaduna demolition.
Yes.
There's people that said, yes, very good, they want to spoil our country. If they don't want to spoil our country, how can they do that? Kudos to the government.
Is that the major problem of Nigeria currently?
People who are defending the demolition are people who have child rights.
Yes.
Well, because it's Kaduna to begin with.
Yeah.
Because it's Kaduna to begin with.
It's a Sharia state. So for me, why I believe government's abuse of power is allowed to continue, because we live in a place where people feel like if you are placed on a certain kind of authority, you're untouchable and you can use it however you deem fit. Because the person that is going to probe the governor is afraid of the governor. For some reason best unknown to me, I saw that our parliament apologized to the president for calling him. Why would one arm of government apologize to another arm of government?
The arm of government was supposed to check.
What happened to checks and balances?
What happened?
So the culture of oppression is coddled in Nigeria, is arranged, is put together.
And it just grows from level to level.
It goes from level to level to level to level. And if the average Nigerian does not wake up and see that this is a problem and be ready to fight for it, it is going to continue. From our schools, to our churches, to our places of work, to the streets, to the market. If each person doesn't see a problem with our culture of oppression, it's not going to go anywhere.
So for me, our first error is what that saying that goes, what an elder sees
sitting down. But drone don't come. We will use drone. Now we have passed that level. We will use drone to look at the future.
I've lived how many decades? Come on. And I'm still hearing that. How would you tell me that an elder that does not know how to use a mobile phone would tell me that he or she is seeing something sitting? Bro, you cannot use Twitter. you cannot even send an email. The world is a global village.
I feel like you're shading my fire. That's a question.
So there are some things that they considered normal back in the day that is abnormal to me right now. Like the whole pressure, okay, I don't usually want to talk about this, but the whole pressure that comes with December and when are you getting married? Can we just crash that? You know, because marriage is not. It's not like I can go and buy a husband. If I could, I would have saved money. Why do we have piggy vest?
Yes,
do you understand? I would have saved money for the kind that can afford. But it's not something I will go to the street. Should I go to Ring Road and say, hey, I'm single, oh, take me, oh, right price is cheap, oh. Do you understand? So while marriage is not coming, why don't you encourage me to do other things?
To grow in other areas.
If I come back and I have money and I want to, renovate the house, when I'm done and you say thank you, but when are you bringing a husband? Do you know it is depressing? I will not pick your calls. And then you say, my daughter is not talking to me. Madam, you're stressing my mental health. You're one of my problems, honestly. So I think that saying, what an elder sees sitting, a young person will not see when even if the person climbs on a rocket tree. We should,
we will use drones to look at the future.
We should not always use it. There are some situations we can use it, but
because the elders have actually failed us.
The truth is, I think that, and I'm putting that to Nigerians, that we should focus on more pressing issues and leave things that really do not matter. You know, people are carrying Bobrisky matter on their head.
Imagine.
When the sex party flyer thing came out, they were all shouting, it was trending on Twitter. We have insurgency to deal with. We have the economy that is failing. The schools are still shaking. Can we focus on more pressing things and just leave what is not even supposed to have, a flyer to trend to be the topic of discussion? I don't think it's important.
So what I believe that we've noted is that, first of all, we have a culture of oppression that we need to do away with. Misplaced priorities.
Misplaced priorities.
Very importantly, false morality. That one they hook me
That's
for
the-
true.
I love you,
That's
my
just
boyfriend,
the
but I want to
thing.
see your laugh. You see, I don't
There's
understand.
there's so much wrong with the Nigerian state, but we're hopeful that as time goes and as the country continues to evolve, as technology continues to evolve, as the world becomes a global village, we're going to fix those problems. For the future, people planning their future sex parties, you don't need to make a flyer.
Abi,
Let's start from there. Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, sex parties are happening. There are no flyers. They're very exclusive events. If you do your homework and you do your research, you too can have a sex party. Joyce. People need to come out and Nigerian people need to come out and fight for their rights. You need to understand that the government works for you. First of all, we need to understand that the public service holders are your employees. There is no reason for you to fear them. There is no reason for you to believe that you cannot enact checks and balances. Get used to what you need to know. Know your right. Know your constituents. Know your local government chairman. Know the person you've put in the Senate. As soon as you can recognize your rights and your power as a Nigerian, the government can no longer oppress you. My name is Joyce Chooks. This has been The Breakfast Show on TSO Nigeria TV. Thank you so much for joining us in 2021. We promise it's going to be a fantastic year. Hug your loved ones, kiss someone, have yourself a fantastic day. Goodbye.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.